Welcome, dear listeners, to the Everyday Tales audio channel. Today, we're diving into an engaging short story, The Scheming Mother-in-Law by author Sarah Johnson. This tale follows Emily, a talented fashion designer, and her turbulent marriage to Michael. Family conflicts, pressure from Michael's sharp-tongued mother, Linda, and a shocking secret push Emily into tough choices. Will she overcome the challenges to find happiness? Join us on this emotional journey with Emily. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support Monica's storytelling and catch more captivating stories. Hello, wonderful listeners of Everyday Tales Audio. In our usual time slot, we're thrilled to bring you the gripping story The Scheming Mother-in-Law by Sarah Johnson. We hope it brings you moments of relaxation and intrigue. After listening, please hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to support the channel. Now, let's dive in. For me, life after marriage was supposed to feel free and still my own. I love my husband and value freedom for both of us. I'm Emily, a talented fashion designer at Vogue Trend Studio. People often call me beautiful, and I even model my own designs for promotions. My husband, Michael, is handsome, charming, and a respected vice president at a real estate firm. Our jobs couldn't be more different. He's all about numbers, I'm about colors. He's precise, I chase beauty. He clocks out on time, my hours are all over the place. When we were dating, those differences didn't matter much. We let them slide, like a pimple that pops up and disappears on its own. But we never imagined that, in marriage, that little pimple could fester into a toxic boil, sparking fights. Around 6 p.m., I was wrestling with a pile of new fabrics when Michael called. "Where are you? Why aren't you home yet?" His voice had an edge. I kept it sweet. "I'm still at the office, hon. What about dinner? Should I make pasta or grab takeout?" "I'll cook when I get home, okay, babe?" I said quickly, then dove back into work. Michael would understand. Life rolled on, and our careers soared. I became head of design at Vogue Trend Studio, and Michael was on the verge of starting his own company. I thought no one could be happier, nailing both career and marriage. Marriage a prison? Nah, it's bliss. One evening, as I prepped models for a photo shoot, Michael called. I figured it was the usual, but then, my mom's coming over. Alright, I'll head home. I left work to a colleague and rushed back, annoyed but swallowing it. At home, Michael parked my car. "Where's your mom?" I asked. "In the kitchen. Go help her. Did you put in a good word for me?" "Relax, just go." I hurried in, all smiles and nerves, the perfect daughter-in-law. "Hi, Mom. So glad you're here." Linda wasn't impressed. "Well, hello. Nice of you to show up. Where've you been, sewing silk? Leaving my son to eat instant noodles?" I grinned, jumping in to help. "Oh, no way, Mom. I was just heading home to cook for us." "Stop making excuses. Get dinner on the table before your husband starves," Linda snapped. I nodded cautiously. "Yes, ma'am." Michael and I sat quietly, like robots under her command. Linda went on, "Your husband's about to be a CEO. The higher he climbs, the busier he gets. Don't you see how hard he works? Slaving all day, then coming home to no proper meal, how's he supposed to survive?" I bowed my head. "I'm sorry, Mom. I'll do better." Linda wasn't satisfied. "You just nod and do nothing. I say quit that silly sketching job and take care of your husband. What's it pay anyway? You neglect your home and your man." I froze, thinking, no way. But it's my passion, Mom. I glanced at Michael, hoping he'd back me up. Nope. He just stared at his plate, ignoring my awkward spot. I forced a smile to appease Linda. I'll think about it, Mom, don't worry. After dinner, Linda's driver picked her up. I sighed with relief. Outside, Michael and I exchanged looks. I grinned. Phew, we survived. Your mom's tough. I'm still scared of her. As I headed to the living room, Michael said, I think you should listen to her. I spun around, shocked. What? You want me to stay home and be a housewife? Quit my job? I couldn't believe my ears. Are you serious? You said you'd support my dreams. He avoided my eyes. I'm sorry, but I want a real wife, a homemaker, not just in name. How am I not a real wife? I'm trying so hard. What more do you want? Michael snapped. I don't see you trying. You live like a single woman, no family, no husband. I just want a wife who's home, sharing dinner every night. Can you do that? I'm not out partying. I'm working. I care about this family. Don't I spend every weekend home, cooking and shopping with you? Michael softened, taking my hand. It's not enough. Quit your job. I'm about to launch my company. I can provide for us. I'm not asking for kids, just be a good wife. Is that too much? I locked eyes with him, firm. No. Never. I won't give up my passion. Let's not fight about this again. I pulled away and stormed upstairs. That night, we slept back to back, both too stubborn. I knew I wasn't wrong. We stayed mad for nearly a week until Michael caved. He let me keep my job. That day, an old friend visited. She's a stay-at-home mom, the classic nurturing type. I told her my story, and she disapproved. You're wrong, Emily. You'll push Michael away. A happy family needs a woman who compromises. Compromise? Why? We're equals. He works, I work. He does what he loves, so should I. She shook her head. You're too stubborn. I'm worried your attitude will wreck your marriage. I smirked. Don't worry. I'm right. I'll show you women are just as equal. Though we made up, things weren't the same. Michael grew quiet, distant. He stopped texting or calling when I worked late. Weekends, he was off with clients, leaving me alone. Fear crept in. One night, I got home at 8 p.m. Michael wasn't there. I made instant noodles, showered, and lay in bed, restless. I called him. Babe, why aren't you home? Finishing work. Go to sleep. Have you eaten? Yeah. Don't overdo it. If work's not done, save it for tomorrow. You'll burn out. I know. Rest soon. We hung up. Thinking of my friend's words, I scoffed. Compromise? Why? He's my husband, not my dad. I don't need to wait on him. I'll never depend on him. But things got worse. Michael stayed out later, often on business trips. Tonight, he stumbled in drunk. I opened the gate and helped him inside. What did you drink? You reek. He slurred, just, with clients. Arms crossed, I frowned. I hate when you drink. Look at you, a mess. He swayed. You wanted freedom, right? I let you do whatever, go where you want, come home whenever. You've got your freedom, I've got mine. Unacceptable. What are you saying? I shot back. I work late, not get drunk like you. I meant freedom to do what I love, not party and ignore my family. Michael sneered, pointing. Look at you, stubborn, arguing back. Are you even a wife? I glared. Explain. How am I not a wife? Say it. He stood, eyes weary and sad. His faint smile was cold, unfamiliar. My heart ached, but tears wouldn't come. Look at this, is this a family? Normal wives cook breakfast, prep clothes, have dinner ready. You sleep till noon, and I eat takeout. The house is a mess, clothes pile up for the maid. Are you really a wife? You're being ridiculous. Does being a wife mean I have to slave in the kitchen 3 meals a day for you? Does it mean I have to scrub clothes and clean the house for you? Did you marry a wife or a maid? Before we got married, I told you I'd never do housework. I'd earn money and hire help. You agreed, but now you're going back on your word. Michael lost it, shouting. Yeah, I'm going back on it. I don't want to live in a house that feels like a motel. I just want to come home after a brutal day and see my wife in the kitchen, both of us eating dinner together, maybe reading or watching a movie. Is that so wrong? His words hit me hard. He wasn't wrong, and neither was I. We just wanted different things from family life. I was fine with it, he wasn't. Tears welled up, and I laughed bitterly. Sure, that sounds nice, but that's your dream, not mine. Marriage is about both of us. Why does the wife have to bend to the husband's will? If you wanted a sweet, domestic woman who stays home, why'd you marry me? You could have picked someone who'd obey you, not a woman with dreams like me. Sobbing, I shoved him onto the couch and stormed upstairs. That night, he didn't come to bed. The next morning, he was gone for work, leaving a text, I'm on a business trip for 3 days. The quiet house felt suffocating. Was I wrong? Should I become a traditional wife to keep our family whole? My heart wavered, terrified of losing him. Emily, the proud and tough woman, was now fragile and vulnerable. I'd set aside my pride to be his wife. Maybe it was time to change. 3 days later, Michael returned early in the morning and found me in the kitchen, shocking him. I greeted him cheerfully. You're back. I made breakfast. Come eat before it gets cold. He followed, skeptical. You're not at the office? I smiled. I quit. His face showed disbelief. What's going on? I continued, you were right. I need to focus on family. He gave a half-hearted smile. Really? How long will this last? His words stung, but I stayed calm to keep him. I mean it. My collection's done, so I'm free to quit. But Michael wasn't as thrilled as I'd hoped. He grabbed his suitcase, headed upstairs, and muttered, you don't have to force yourself to do what I want. Soon you'll say I pressured you to quit. I tried to make peace, but he mocked me instead. I wanted to yell, but I remembered he'd always apologized first after our fights. This time, I'd be patient. At Vogue Trend Studio, I packed my things. The director, James Carter, called me into his office, looking sad. James, I'm sorry for leaving so suddenly. I've been with Vogue Trend since I was 23, 7 years. It's hard to go, but I hope you understand. I want to focus on family. James sighed. You're one of our best designers. The CEO, Vanessa Brooks, was planning to promote you to head of design for the entire company. I looked down, guilty. I know Vanessa believes in me, but I've made my choice. When she's back from her trip, I'll apologize in person. James looked at me warmly. If you ever want to come back, just say the word. We'll welcome you with open arms. Despite my regrets, I chose to become a devoted wife. I excelled at playing the perfect homemaker. Maybe my friend was right, true joy comes from caring for your family. I finally understood why my mom put up with my dad for decades. Michael and I made up, but he felt different. I noticed it in his gaze, his smile, even his kisses. Months passed quickly. Today, my friend visited again. When I shared my concerns, she frowned and sighed. Emily, don't get mad, but I have to say something. Just spit it out, I said, impatient. She grabbed my hand, her eyes heavy. I think Michael might be cheating. I yanked my hand away, stunned. What? No way. Michael would never. She stayed calm. Chill, it's just a hunch. But seriously, watch him. His distant behavior screams affair. I insisted he wasn't cheating, but doubt crept in. Michael was always on business trips or glued to his phone. He often dodged intimacy, claiming he was tired. After my friend left, I sat on the couch, lost in thought, until the doorbell snapped me out of it. I rushed to the gate and froze. Linda was there. She stormed in. Have you cooked for Michael? I stammered, weak-kneed. I. She shook her head. I'm done with you. A wife who can't even handle dinner for her husband. I wanted to explain but couldn't admit I'd been zoned out, suspecting Michael's affair. Linda and I cooked dinner. She worked and criticized everything I touched, calling me useless. That night, Michael didn't come home. Linda and I ate alone, and she nagged about kids. Think about your husband and our family. Are you just keeping your figure for yourself? I stood to leave, but she snapped, where are you going? I'm talking. I sighed, staying calm. I'm tired, Mom. I'm going to rest. She scoffed. Such a rude girl. Why did Michael bring you into this house? All looks, no substance. Fury surged. I clenched my fists, took a deep breath, and said, you can insult me all you want, but don't drag my parents into this. Yes, I'm all looks, no substance, so why did you agree to let Michael marry me? We didn't elope, you and Michael came to my family properly. Her eyes blazed, face twisting. You dare talk back? My glare matched hers. Just as it seemed we'd come to blows, Michael walked in, shouting, what's going on? Linda's scowl turned to crocodile tears. She ran to him, clutching his arm, looking pitiful. Oh, Michael, I can't take it. I gave her a little advice, and she screamed at me. If you hadn't come, she might have hit me. Michael frowned at me, softening his tone but still scolding. What's wrong with you, Emily? Why were you rude to Mom? I breathed deeply. I didn't do anything wrong. Believe her if you want. I turned and went upstairs, leaving them to sort it out. Late that night, Michael hadn't come to bed. Linda was gone, and he was holed up in his study. I figured he was mad. It wasn't his fault, and I'd been too stubborn with his mom. Worried, I knocked. Babe, have you eaten? No answer. It's late. Can't you finish work tomorrow? After a pause, he opened the door. Go to bed. I'm working. He slammed it shut. He was so done with me that even my efforts to make peace didn't matter. I missed the old days when he loved me, always hugging me and making up first. Had he stopped loving me? I almost left him to cool off, but my frustration boiled over. Why should I keep apologizing when I wasn't wrong? I swung the study door open and said, we need to talk. Michael was on his phone, startled, his face pale. I grabbed it. He yelled, "Are you crazy, Emily? What, you think I'm texting some girl?" I turned away, checking the phone. It was just work chats, not what I feared. I stared at the screen, stunned. He snatched the phone back, glaring. "Are you out of your mind? First you upset my mom, now you're paranoid and jealous." I hesitated, guilty. "I'm sorry. You've been acting so weird lately, so I." He sat, fuming. "Get out. I don't want to talk." I hugged him from behind. "Please don't be mad. I'm jealous because I love you so much." He pushed me off, standing. "Enough. Can you act like a normal woman? Mom gives you a little advice, and you nearly attack her. Have I spoiled you so much you think you're a queen?" I tried to explain, desperate. "No, I didn't mean to fight your mom. She was nagging me about kids, and I got a little upset, that's all." "Is she wrong?" Michael snapped. "She's old, and I'm her only son. She wants us to have kids soon. What's wrong with that?" I laughed, tears brimming. "Fine, I admit I delayed having kids to focus on my career. But now I'm ready to be a mom. What about you? You're always on business trips, and when you're home, you won't even touch me. Tell me, how are we supposed to have a kid?" "How, Michael?" He gave a hollow laugh, eyes red. "Wow, you're good. I can't win against that mouth of yours. Fine, just wait." He pushed past me and stormed out of the study. Moments later, he returned, tossing a pack of daily birth control pills on the table. "You want kids? Then what's this?" I stared at the pills, speechless, struggling to explain. "This." "Michael, listen to me." He raised his hands. "Enough. I don't want to hear it. Maybe we need some time apart until you figure out where you went wrong. Then we'll talk." With that, he left me standing there, packed a bag, and walked out. I didn't stop him or make a scene. He was right, we both needed time to cool off. The pills were a misunderstanding. I'd used them for years to prevent pregnancy and regulate hormones. Only recently, after quitting my job and deciding to try for a baby, had I stopped. I hadn't thrown out that pack yet, and he found it. Misunderstandings piled up. I was exhausted from justifying myself to a husband who wouldn't listen, so I stayed silent. I didn't know where Michael went, but since Linda didn't show up, he probably wasn't with her. I was worried yet furious. Since when did he start storming off after fights, ignoring me like this? I gave up my dream job to be a housewife for him, wasn't that enough? Maybe he really didn't love me anymore. The man who knelt to propose, promising to cherish me like a princess, was gone. All his vows were lies. He'd betrayed me. 3 days later, Michael still hadn't contacted me or checked on me. I was so anxious I couldn't eat or sleep. Could a petty fight like this end us? No, my fairy tale marriage couldn't crumble like this. A week passed, and I was a wreck, barely eating or sleeping. My mom called to check in, but I brushed her off to ease her worries. Finally, concerned, she sent my freshman sister, Katie, to see me. Seeing me frail and abandoned by Michael, Katie was livid. "Have you opened your eyes yet? You could have stayed home as mom and dad's princess, but you had to marry this rich jerk. His family never respected you. I hated them from the start." I sighed, rubbing my forehead. It's not Michael's fault. He loves me. We're just hitting a rough patch. A rough patch? Katie fumed. What kind of patch keeps a husband from talking to his wife? Why haven't you sorted this out? Her words hit me. I loved him deeply. I knew he defied his parents to marry me, but I'd only followed my own desires, disappointing him and his family. Swallowing my pride, I called him. After a long wait, he answered. Hello? His voice was warm but distant. I burst into tears, feeling pathetic. I was wasting away missing him, and he sounded indifferent. Hearing me cry, his tone shifted, worried. Emily, don't cry. What's wrong? I dropped the phone on the bed, ignoring his calls. Choking back tears, I said, come home. Come back to me. Katie grabbed the phone and hung up. Are you insane? Why beg him? You're obsessed, aren't you? You gave up your dreams for him, and now you're sick in bed, abandoned. And you still love him? I sobbed, shaking my head. You wouldn't understand. She didn't. She was too young to know that when you love someone deeply, pride comes second. Katie confiscated my phone, and I didn't argue. I lay in bed, staring into space. I couldn't accept it, a once confident, vibrant woman reduced to crying in bed, waiting for her husband. Exhaustion overtook me, and I drifted off until a faint doorbell jolted me awake, my heart racing with a strange feeling. I dragged myself out of bed, mustering my remaining strength to reach the door, clutching the knob. It felt light, almost weightless. Before I could turn it, the door opened. There stood Michael. My body went weak, nearly collapsing, but he caught me. Emily, are you okay? His voice was thick with worry. I broke down, clinging to his chest, sobbing. Michael held me tightly, his arms strong and steady. He kissed my ear and hair, whispering, I'm sorry. Don't cry. I'm home. My heart bloomed like a flower. If the past days were a cold winter, spring had finally arrived. Katie stood at the door, smirking through her own tears. That evening's dinner was just us. I did nothing, just watched Michael in an apron, cooking. Every so often, he'd glance at me and smile. Need any help? Nope. Tonight, I'm cooking to make it up to you. He made all my favorite dishes, insisting I eat a ton. Seeing me so thin, he sighed. I'm sorry, babe. I was so thoughtless, letting you get this frail. I smiled, glancing at myself, scared by how gaunt I'd become. Once a model-like beauty, now I frightened myself. That night, the sky sparkled with stars, a gentle breeze blowing. We stood on the balcony, his arms around me, gazing at the sky. I nestled into his chest, shy and playful like a delicate flower. This warmth, these arms, this love, I thought I'd lost them. I teased, why didn't you call me? I was going to, but I thought you were still mad, he said, smiling. I pressed, were you mad at me? Did you miss me? Do you still love me? He turned me to face him, brushing my hair, lifting my chin. His eyes sparkled. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I love you so much, you know that? I missed you. Do you believe me? Who was at fault didn't matter anymore. He was part of me. He kissed me softly, the happiness I'd longed for. I swore I'd hold on to him, never letting him go again. I thought our marriage would be smooth sailing from here, but Linda had other plans. A few days ago, she showed up, demanding we get fertility tests. She didn't know I'd been on birth control for 2 years, preventing kids. Michael and I dreaded her reaction if she found out. Since we'd never done preconception screenings, we figured we'd combine it with the tests. Linda was convinced our delay in having kids was my fault. To avoid putting Michael in a tough spot, I stayed quiet. She hovered over us during the entire process, and when the hospital results came, she grabbed them first. Her face darkened. I stood beside Michael, as tense as she was. Suddenly, she threw the results at me, sneering. I knew it. A rotten tree bears no fruit, and a flawed woman bears no children. I could tell from the start you were useless. Michael pulled me close, snapping at her. Mom, how could you say that to my wife? You're defending her. Look at the results, see what kind of burden you married. Michael picked up the paper, his face shifting from shock to horror. This, how? I snatched it, my world collapsing as I saw the bold word, infertile. Thankfully, Michael held me. Heartbroken, he said, Emily, stay calm. Linda spat, see? She can't have kids. The woman you chose can't give you a child. How am I supposed to live with this? Michael tried to reason. Mom, it's not true. Results can be wrong. Emily and I will see a doctor. Linda cut him off. No doctor will change this. I've put up with this useless daughter-in-law long enough. Divorce her now. Michael shouted, Mom. She yelled back, No, Mom. If you don't divorce her, don't call me your mother. You fool. I looked at her, tears streaming. Mom, why are you so cruel? I didn't choose this. Stop wasting our family's time. We've tolerated you for 2 years, enough. If you hadn't been so stubborn, I wouldn't have to be cruel. Linda stormed off, and I collapsed. I knew Linda disliked me, but I never imagined she'd be this heartless. My heart felt pierced by 1,000 knives, aching and numb. Tears poured down. Michael held my head to his chest. Emily, I'll never leave you. I pounded my chest, sobs trapped inside. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. It's not our fault. We didn't choose this, it's fate. A family needs more than love, it needs many things. Sadly, we lacked the most crucial piece to make family whole. After the results, Michael and I were devastated. All day, I sat on the bed, unable to eat. Michael, worried, skipped work to stay with me. He brought dinner to our room. Emily, eat something. You haven't eaten all day. His eyes met mine, and I teared up, my heart in knots. He set the bowl of soup on the table, gently pulling me into his arms. I cried harder. He soothed, You'll hurt yourself like this. So what if we can't have kids? I just need you. Please, listen to me. Eat a little. It breaks my heart seeing you like this. I nodded, wiping my tears. He let go and fed me small spoonfuls of soup. I was heartbroken over not being able to have children, but at least I had him. I was lucky to have a husband who loved me. If he abandoned me too, I wouldn't know how to go on. Even if the sky fell, I had to keep living. Michael, worried I'd spiral at home, urged me to go back to work. At first, I hesitated. Would staying home idle make me overthink? Better to stay busy and distract myself. I met with James Carter to ask about returning to Vogue Trend Studio. The moment I walked in, he frowned. My God, Emily, you look so different after just a few months. Are you okay? I glanced at myself, down 10 pounds, I barely recognized my own frame. I adjusted my sweater to hide my protruding collarbone and said, I'm fine. I haven't been eating or sleeping well, so I lost some weight. The doctor said I need to stay relaxed to get back to normal. James nodded, cutting to the chase. As promised, we're ready to welcome you back, but your head designer role is filled by someone capable. Would you mind taking the deputy role? Mind? I'm thrilled you're letting me back. But my health's not great, and it's been a while since I worked. I'd prefer to start as a regular designer, if that's okay. I'll still pitch in for big projects." James paused, then nodded. "All right, whatever works for you. Your health comes first." As a regular designer, my pay was lower, but I had more time flexibility. As a special employee, I could work from home unless something urgent came up. This balance let me manage work and family. I became a devoted wife, meticulously handling Michael's meals and rest. I wanted my care to make up for my shortcomings. On the couch, I set aside my sketches and checked the clock. Past 10 p.m. lately, Michael had been coming home late. At 1 a.m., I heard the gate and went to greet him. "Why were you so late?" He wasn't drunk, but his face was cold. "You're still up?" I trailed behind. "How could I sleep when you're not home? Why'd you turn off your phone?" "I had work to handle." "You don't need to worry. Stop interrogating me, I'm tired." He went to the bathroom and slammed the door. I stood there, hurt, swallowing my sobs. Linda kept whispering to Michael about divorce, and no tree withstands a storm forever. Her words must have gotten to him, making him weary. I understood, torn between his wife and mother, how could he please both? That night, we lay in the same bed but miles apart. I didn't bother him, and he didn't touch me. If this continued, Linda's wish would come true. I had to be decisive, do something to ease Michael's burden. The next day, I went to Linda's. My father-in-law had passed, and she lived in a luxurious villa in an upscale neighborhood with her youngest daughter and son-in-law. I rang the bell, and the housekeeper, Lisa, answered. "Ms. Emily, is Mrs. Linda home?" "Yes, she's doing a skincare routine inside." "Could you open the gate so I can see her?" Lisa hesitated. "Well, I need to check with her first. She has a rule, except for Michael, strangers need her approval." So I was a stranger. I forced a smile. "Please let her know." I waited outside for over 20 minutes, legs aching, and Lisa hadn't returned. I knew Linda was avoiding me, but I had no other choice. Though furious, I told myself to stay calm. Losing it would play into her hands. In this delicate situation, I had to be careful. Finally, Lisa returned. Mrs. Linda's waiting in the living room. I put on a cheerful face and walked in. Linda lounged on a chair, wearing a face mask, listening to music. I bowed timidly. "Hello, Mom." She didn't glance at me. "Don't call me that. I'm not your mom." "Why are you here?" "What?" "I'm Michael's wife, your daughter-in-law." She smirked, sitting up. "Michael hasn't told you? I thought he'd have divorced you by now." I stood frozen in the living room. "What do you mean?" "The doctor said your long-term birth control caused your infertility." My legs buckled, the room spinning. I laughed through tears, emotions raw. "What? No, that's not true. My pills couldn't. It's clear as day. You brought this on yourself. Don't blame my family for being heartless. Pack your things and leave." "No, Mom, there's a mistake. My pills were safe." I cried, collapsing to my knees, begging. "Please, don't make us divorce. Medicine is advanced now, Michael and I can find a way to have kids. Please, don't make us divorce." Linda shot up, yelling, "Enough. I'm not dead yet for you to grovel like that. How unlucky. Get out. I don't want to see a useless daughter-in-law for another second." I persisted, still kneeling. "Please, Mom." She glared and stormed off. I thought she went upstairs, but she returned with a jar of salt. As I sobbed, she flung it in my face. Salt stung my eyes. I clutched my face, crying, unable to open them. Linda's sharp voice rang out. "Lisa, get her out." Her footsteps faded upstairs. Lisa rushed over with a wet towel. "Ms. Emily, go home. Why put yourself through this?" I didn't answer or cry anymore, focusing on wiping my eyes. Lisa helped me up. "I'll call you a car." "Thank you." I returned home, broken, unable to believe my infertility was from birth control. My pills weren't emergency ones, they were prescribed by a doctor. No doctor would harm me like that. But things had gone too far. How could I explain this to Michael? Our marriage was beyond saving. That night, too exhausted to cook, I didn't. Michael came home and didn't ask about me. Even the one reason to fight for this marriage, my husband, had given up. Why keep trying? I was just a barren wife, making things harder for him by staying. Maybe I should listen to Linda and leave. The next morning, I got up early, made breakfast as if nothing had happened. Michael came downstairs, surprised I was up. I smiled. "I made breakfast. Eat before you go." He hesitated but sat. The meal passed in silence, his face blank. I knew he was tolerating me, probably exhausted by my presence. His wife, infertile from birth control, how could he not be upset? Before he left, he finally spoke. "You don't need to cook breakfast tomorrow. I'll eat out." I smiled. "Okay. I just wanted to cook for you today. I won't after this." He nodded, grabbed his bag, and left. I acted normal, but my body trembled, feeling awful. Remembering something, I grabbed a paper bag from the kitchen counter and ran after him. "Michael." He turned, indifferent. I handed him the bag. "I know you've had trouble sleeping. I researched and found these supplements. Keep them in your car, 1 packet a day." He took it, his eyes softening briefly. But the warmth and love were gone. Holding back tears, I smiled. "Go to work. Avoid traffic. Tonight, come home early. Let's have dinner together. I can't promise. I might have a client meeting." I forced a smile, fingers fidgeting. "Can you reschedule? I really want to have dinner with you. I'll book a table at Rose for us. It's been ages since we ate out together. Please." He hesitated, then said, "I'll see. 7 p.m. at Rose. I'll be waiting." He didn't seem thrilled but, seeing my excitement, said nothing and left for work. That evening, I wore a stunning red dress, did my makeup, and arrived early at Rose. The restaurant held special memories. Our first dates, proposal, and anniversaries were all celebrated here. Sitting alone in the romantic ambience, I drifted into memories of our happiest moments. Michael is 5 years older than me. We met by chance at a wedding. I was the designer for the bride's gown, invited to attend, while he was a friend of the groom. The bride adored me and introduced me to everyone. At 22, I was young, talented, and beautiful. Love was the last thing on my mind. During the bouquet toss, Michael caught it. Instead of giving it to his friend or another single woman, he handed it to me. I was calm, sipping wine, standing outside the circle of eager bachelorettes. Stunned, I stared at the polished man before me. Michael wasn't strikingly handsome, but his mature charm was instantly likable. I laughed, shaking my head. "I'm not looking to get married." He held the bouquet out, smiling. "I know. I just suddenly wanted the woman holding the bouquet at my wedding to be you. Even now, those words stir my heart. He was a man of his word, relentlessly pursuing stubborn me for 2 years. I made him start as friends, even teasing him with a kiss as a price. Yet he still loved me, and we married. My family isn't wealthy, my parents are retired civil servants. As the second youngest daughter, I was spoiled growing up. Michael's family, I only learned after agreeing to date and marry him, was loaded. His mom ran a chain of high-end jewelry stores, a real tycoon. Linda disapproved of my modest background, calling me unrefined and unworthy of her son. Michael fought tooth and nail for me, threatening to cut ties with her if she didn't let us marry. After years of waiting and getting to know each other, we finally tied the knot and built a home together. Who'd have thought, just over 2 years later, we'd face so many storms? It's my fault, this mess is because of me. If I hadn't taken birth control, no, if I hadn't insisted on marrying him. If I'd listened to Linda, we wouldn't be suffering now. Thinking back brings both joy and pain. A waitress approached, handing me a tissue, concerned. "Ma'am, are you okay?" I smiled. "Thanks, I'm fine. When will your friend arrive?" "The food's ready." I glanced at my watch, 8 p.m., and Michael hadn't shown. "Go ahead and serve it," I told her. She looked puzzled but nodded and left. I called Michael, his phone rang endlessly, unanswered. I stopped trying, smiling at the lavish meal set before me. I started eating, a feast for one. The food was delicious, but the more I ate, the more it choked me. By the third bite, I spit it out, tears falling. "It'll be fine. I'll get used to being alone soon." While rushing to prepare for a fashion show with my team, Michael called. I answered flatly. "Hello." His voice was urgent. "I'm not signing the divorce papers, Emily. Come home. We need to talk." "I'm busy, no time." "Sign them. I'll have a lawyer handle the rest. It'll be quick, won't affect your work. We'll meet in court." "Emily, wait," I hung up and tossed the phone on the table. A colleague noticed my mood. "What's wrong?" "Nothing, just my ex-husband bothering me." She sighed, relieved. "Oh, okay. By the way, James wants you in the meeting room." "Got it." I grabbed my work and headed to James Carter's office. I didn't bother bringing my phone. As I walked in, James greeted me with a warm smile. "Wow, this is the Emily from a year ago. I've missed this vibe." No lie, single women always seem to glow. I set my samples down and sat. "You're too kind." He moved to sit across from me. "How's your new place?" "It's great, thanks for the recommendation. Quiet and safe." "And the divorce? Is your ex hassling you?" I shook my head, smiling. "No, he's not reckless. I had a lawyer send the papers to his office today. He just called, fuming." James sighed, his eyes seasoned. "Divorcing someone you loved isn't easy. I've been there. After the show, take a few days off to clear your head." I declined, grateful. "No need. Time off would make me feel worse. Work keeps my mind busy." "Alright, just don't overdo it." We reviewed new designs. James was a boss I admired deeply, a 40-something heartthrob every woman in the office swooned over. Working with him never felt stressful, he was like a big brother. But one thing puzzled me, nearing 45, why was he still single? After the meeting, I was about to leave when James said, "What are you getting for Vanessa's daughter's birthday?" I hesitated, then shrugged. "Not sure. Maybe I'll design a dress for her. Why do you ask? He wavered, then said, no reason. I'm clueless about kids' toys, especially for girls, so I thought you could help. No big deal. After the show, we'll shop for her gift together. Perfect. Thanks. Leaving the room, I recalled the old rumors about James and Vanessa. Before Vanessa married Tom Bradley and became the fashion mogul she is now, Vogue Trend Studio buzzed with talk of James having feelings for her. Back then, I was just a junior designer, privy to sweet stories about them. Now I understood why James was still single. How many women are as kind, talented, and gracious as Vanessa? She's the modern woman we all aspire to be. If James's ideal woman hasn't changed, he might stay single forever. As promised, after the fashion show, James and I shopped for Vanessa's daughter's birthday gift. We wandered the mall all afternoon, unsure what to get. In the end, he bought something from every store. As we sat for dinner at a restaurant in the mall, he was loaded with bags. While waiting for our food, James surprised me by placing a small paper bag in front of me. Thanks for spending the afternoon with me. I saw this bracelet at the jewelry store. It's supposed to bring peace and attract love. You've got everything else, but I hope you find a man who truly loves you. You're only 32, divorce isn't the end. Touched, I took the gift, laughing. You should get one for yourself. You need luck in love more than I do. He chuckled, embarrassed. Nah, it's fate. At my age, who'd want an old guy like me? You're wrong. A man like you? Confess to any woman, and she'd say yes. I'd bet on it. You're one of the best guys out there. He blushed, scratching his head. Stop teasing me, or I'll start believing you. We were laughing when Michael stormed in, silencing us. His face was red, eyes hostile toward James, then accusing me. So this is why you're rushing the divorce, to be with this guy. Flustered, I glanced at James and stood. Don't talk nonsense. This is my boss, not what you think. Michael scoffed. Your boss? Since when do bosses go shopping and have private dinners with employees? Pretty dedicated worker, huh? I frowned, annoyed. Michael, drop that tone. Fine, I won't talk about your precious boss. He shot James a look, grabbed my arm, and pulled. Let's go talk somewhere else. As he yanked me, another hand grabbed my other arm. Stunned, I turned. It was James. Calmly, without a hint of anger, he said, sorry, but Emily's my employee and my guest. If she doesn't want to go, you shouldn't force her. Michael's grip tightened, hurting my wrist. Terrified, I pulled free. He glared, bitter. Is it because of this guy that you're divorcing me? Did you take those pills to be with him? I screamed, stop it. Tears welled as I breathed deeply to stay composed. Pointing away, I said, get out. We're done talking. Please agree to the divorce so I can at least keep some good memories of you. What hurts more than watching the man you love become unrecognizable? Why am I divorcing? He should know better than anyone. Should I have to say it, that I can't give him children, so I want him to find happiness elsewhere? He doesn't want the divorce, but he no longer loves me like before. Why cling to each other? I let go. Why won't you? Michael's voice softened, heavy with sorrow. Emily, I just go. Breathing the same air as you makes me sick. I cut him off, storming into the bathroom, afraid I'd break down if I stayed longer. 10 minutes later, I returned to the table. Dinner was served, and Michael was gone. James greeted me with a warm, understanding look. I sat, embarrassed. I'm sorry, I've caused you trouble. It's fine. Good thing I was here, or he might have made things worse for you. Thanks. No more thank yous. Eat, you must be starving. I nodded, focusing on the meal to get through it. Having my boss witness my personal drama, and getting him dragged into it, made me feel awful. Time slipped by, and finally, Michael and I completed the divorce. The last day in court was indescribable. Michael had accepted the divorce. I'd heard his family was already introducing him to a new woman. We shook hands one final time outside the courthouse. I hope you find the wife you deserve. It's ironic, the man who once married his ideal wife now had an ex. I wasn't being sarcastic, I genuinely wished him well. At the office cafeteria for lunch, I stepped inside and felt my stomach churn, like seasickness. A wave of nausea hit, and I clamped my hand over my mouth, rushing to the bathroom. Back at the table, my colleague Jenny asked, worried. Emily, you okay? You've been throwing up a lot. Maybe see a doctor? Could you be pregnant? Another colleague chimed in. Jenny and I exchanged stunned looks. Jenny snapped, that's ridiculous, she just got divorced. The other colleague apologized, oh, sorry, I forgot. I shook my head, smiling gently. It's fine. I'm not pregnant, I can't have kids. Their faces grew even more awkward. I wasn't upset, just amused. I'd accepted my infertility. Plenty of women can't have kids, some even choose not to. Motherhood is a divine gift, but if it's not given, you learn to live with it. Like diamonds, not every woman gets one. A few days later, I visited Vanessa's office. After vomiting, she covered the durian pastry she'd brought for me. I said, sheepish, sorry, my stomach's been off. Heavy smells make me puke. Get this, I even gagged brushing my teeth. Vanessa took my hand, sat me down, and asked, how late is your period? I blinked, thinking. My cycles are irregular. Maybe 2 months. Back when I was single, stress would stop it for months. I'd see a doctor and take hormone regulators. She patted my hand. Buy a pregnancy test, just to check. Your symptoms sound like when I was pregnant with my daughter. I hesitated, forcing a smile. No way, I'm infertile. It's probably stress from the new company project. I'll hit the hospital tomorrow to check. She nodded, cautioning, don't overwork. We have plenty of staff, don't take on everything and get sick. I see you as a sister, it'd break my heart if something happened to you. I looked at her, grateful. I was lucky to work for such an incredible boss. That afternoon, as I packed up to leave, James stopped by my office. Surprised, I asked, what's up? He looked awkward, avoiding my eyes. I heard from Vanessa you're not feeling well. Finally, he met my gaze. I blushed, embarrassed he'd brought up that day, and smiled. Can we not talk about it? I'm mortified. If you can't forget it, let's call it an accident. We both move on. My health's got nothing to do with you. I'm heading out, feeling beat from all the overtime. If you keep me here, how'll I recover? I bowed and left quickly. Outside, I sighed in relief. I wasn't uneasy around James, but if I acted shy, working together would be tough. So, I played the carefree bad girl for once. I was cheerfully heading to the company gate to catch a ride when James startled me again. He stood beside me, his face sterner than when we discussed work. Stay there. I'm driving you home. He turned and headed to the parking garage. I called after him, no need, I can get home. He ignored me and kept walking. James drove me home, carefully opening the car door. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., I'm picking you up for the hospital. You're not going alone. I can manage. If people see us, they'll gossip. Once we get your results, I'll handle any rumors. For now, I'm responsible for you. How can I let a woman go to the hospital alone? Seeing his resolve, I gave in. The next morning, at 8 sharp, he picked me up. The doctor, hearing my symptoms, echoed Vanessa and Jenny's suspicions. I repeated, I'm infertile. Skeptical, she said, let's do an ultrasound. Studying the screen, she sighed. My heart raced. Is something wrong, doctor? She asked, where did you get your preconception screening? HM Hospital, a reputable place. Then your results might be wrong, or you were misdiagnosed. You're pregnant, 2 months along. Finding out I was pregnant shocked me more than the infertility diagnosis. How could this be? Doctor, you're not joking? She pointed at the screen. See for yourself. The embryo's forming, developing well. I stared at the black and white image. I'd never known what an embryo looked like, but feeling a life growing inside me awakened my maternal instincts. Tears fell. Choking up, I asked, this isn't a dream, right? She smiled. Not a dream. Congratulations. Clutching the ultrasound, I left the room. James rushed over, anxious. What's the result? Still reeling, I stared at the image, then at the man worried for me. How is this possible? How am I pregnant with your baby after just one night? This is absurd. It happened 2 months ago, at Vanessa's daughter's first birthday party. James and I were eating and chatting when my apartment manager called. Ms. Emily, neighbors reported a burning smell from your unit. Come check it out, or we'll have to break in. I shot up mid-party, everyone staring, including James. I'm coming now. I hung up, telling the table, sorry, something's up at home. I have to go. I didn't even say goodbye to the hosts, rushing out. In heels, I nearly fell, but James caught me. I landed in his arms, breathless, but seeing him, I relaxed and smiled. Thanks. What's going on? The manager said neighbors smelled something burning. I need to get home. He grabbed my hand. Come on, I'll drive. A taxi will take too long. Though hesitant to trouble my boss, his car was the fastest option, so I agreed. My electric kettle had boiled dry, scorching. Thankfully, we got there in time to avoid disaster. I sat on the couch, frazzled, while James handled the red-hot kettle. Seeing my glass of apple tea, he asked, were you brewing red date tea? Yeah, I've had trouble sleeping. I avoid meds, and someone suggested red dates and goji berries, so I'm trying it. He grabbed a small pot, boiling water with the dates directly on the stove. Cooking it a few minutes extracts more nutrients than steeping in a thermos. Pouring water into a glass doesn't cut it. I stood, moving toward him. I'll do it. He stopped me. You're shaken up. Let me rest, you must have been scared. Not wanting a guest in my kitchen, I leaned against the counter, chatting. I was terrified. It's a rental. If I caused trouble for neighbors, what would I do? Luckily, it's fine. I'm over it. James looked at me, his smile warm. Feeling calmer, I glanced away, flustered, searching for something to say. Such a shame, the party was just starting, and I dragged you away. No big deal. You're a woman living alone, situations like this are tough without help. If you need anything, call me. I see you as a sister, I won't leave you hanging. Grateful, I smiled. You're such a good guy. Whoever marries you is blessed. Since we didn't eat, I'll order some snacks, and we can have a bite together. A glass of wine to shake off the bad luck, perfect, right? The tea was ready, and he poured it carefully. Sounds good. Order away. That night, on the balcony, we talked for hours, deep, personal things I'd never shared with anyone. Yet I opened up to my boss, a man 10 years older, who I saw as a brother. I entered his inner world, learning how he'd once hurt a woman and later fell for Vanessa, unrequited. James's ex-wife passed away 3 years ago from respiratory failure. He's endured enough heartbreak, so the thought of meeting a new woman and starting over feels overwhelming. At his age, after a marriage, the fiery passion to love someone new has faded. We drank and talked, losing ourselves until we were too drunk to notice we'd slept together. When I woke up, it was morning. James and I, stark naked, were tangled on the couch. He stirred as I sat up. Mortified, we couldn't look at each other. I grabbed my clothes and fled to my bedroom. After a while, James knocked. Dressed neatly, he looked sheepish. I'm sorry. I lost control last night. Though embarrassed, I knew acting awkward would make things worse. So, I played it cool. It's fine, don't worry. We were both drunk. Let's pretend it never happened, okay? He was shocked that I suggested moving on. Avoiding his gaze, I made an excuse. I'm still sleepy. I'm going back to bed. Lock the door when you leave. I slammed the door shut. Who stays calm after sleeping with their boss? I was a mess of worry and shame. The first few days back at work were torture. I feared he'd fire me or show me special attention, exposing our night together. I just divorced, imagine the gossip if people found out, slandering my shady relationship with James. I dreaded the fallout. Neither of us would have peace. I was relieved, thinking if I acted like it never happened, and he did too, that night would fade away. I never imagined it would lead to this. I'm pregnant, with James's child. He said, keep the baby, please. I'll take care of you both. His words snapped me back to reality. He was holding the ultrasound, somehow. Of course, I wouldn't abort. But James taking responsibility? I hadn't considered it. Overwhelmed, I couldn't respond. He didn't press, just drove me home, urging me to rest for a few days. Out of nowhere, I'm pregnant after being diagnosed as infertile. This wasn't simple. A doctor misdiagnosing or mixing up results seemed unlikely. They knew I'd used daily birth control and blamed it for my infertility. The only explanation was Linda tampering with my results. Fury twisted my gut. How could she be so cruel? To drive me out, she stooped to such a vile trick. Thank God I left that family early, or who knows how much more she'd have tormented me. I doubt Michael knew how vicious his mother was, but I didn't want him to. He'd been a dutiful husband, a responsible man. The fault was hers. I didn't want to lash out at him or disrupt our stable lives further. Maybe heaven pitied my suffering and sent this baby to comfort me, even throwing in a man twice as good as Michael. This time, I'd come out ahead. I spent a week mulling over James and me. I liked him, admired him, but as a colleague, a brother. Now, we had a child, and he wanted to care for me. So, I decided to bring him to meet my parents to get their take on this relationship. A man who manages hundreds and signs billion-dollar deals was a nervous wreck facing my parents. I worried they'd grill him, but surprisingly, after a brief chat, they liked him. My dad, hearing our story, said, "You've both been divorced. My daughter just left an unhappy marriage. This child is a gift, blameless. If you two can build a happy, complete family, that's wonderful. But Emily just divorced, remarrying right away isn't right. Plus, your feelings aren't mature enough to call each other husband and wife after one night. So, live together, raise the child. When the kid's older and you've had time to know each other, then marry. With Dad's blessing, James beamed, squeezing my hand like he'd waited forever for this. His joy at bringing me to his home to care for me felt less like chance and more like fate. I didn't know what to call our relationship. He's the father, I'm the mother, and we're together for the child. Though nameless, it made us both happy. Beyond meticulously tending to my meals and sleep, James respected my privacy. We slept in separate rooms, treating each other like courteous colleagues at home. He didn't let me work late, and in our free time, we read, tended plants, or did yoga to stay healthy. We didn't hide living together from colleagues, saying we were getting to know each other. That kept gossip at bay. At 7 months pregnant, I moved easily. The baby, well cared for, grew healthily without making me too bulky. Leaving the clinic, I cheerfully thanked the doctor. "Thanks so much. I'm off." She nodded, calling the next patient. A beautiful woman stood, accompanied by a familiar man. Michael and I locked eyes in the hospital hallway for a long moment. I wasn't afraid to face him, just unsure how to explain my pregnancy. He clearly couldn't believe I was visibly pregnant. I forced a smile, breaking the tense silence. "It's been a while. You doing okay?" He stammered, how is this possible?" I rubbed my belly, smiling. "A miracle, I guess. We weren't meant to be, so fate didn't let us stay together. Now it's good, I can have kids, and you've got a wife and child." Still reeling, his eyes reddened, darting between my face and belly. Recalling our struggles to be together, then our divorce, emotion surged. Afraid I'd cry, I made an excuse. "Go to your wife. I'm leaving." As I turned, Michael grabbed my arm. "Emily, can we talk? I have so much to say." Just then, James appeared, back from buying me water. Seeing Michael holding my arm, he slowed, then hurried over. I pulled free, smiling through teary eyes. "I've got to go. My partner's here. Goodbye." James, stiff, took my hand and led me away. In the car, he saw me crying but said nothing, silently handing me tissues. He was hurting too. I felt awful for him. He'd been so good to me and the baby, yet here I was, crying over my ex. That night, getting up to use the bathroom, I found James still awake. He sat in the living room, not watching TV, scrolling, or reading, just slouched under the dim glow of a small lamp. Guilt hit me. My drama probably kept him up. I approached, and he startled. "Up for the bathroom?" Sitting beside him, I asked, "Yeah. Why were you still up?" He took my hand, forcing a smile. "Just thinking." I sighed, gripping his hand. "Because I saw Michael this morning, right? Are you afraid I'll go back to him?" "No, it's because I love you. I don't know how to make you see that." "How do I make you love me?" His sudden confession stunned me. He gazed into my eyes, touching my cheek. "It started as responsibility, but now I love you. Seeing you cry over another man hurts me. I want to erase him from your mind, make you think only of me, love only me. That's the only way you'll stop hurting and be happy. Emily, how do I make you love me?" I met his gaze. "Do you know why I cried this morning?" "No." "I cried because I could finally let Michael go. He wasn't entirely at fault. Seeing him with a wife and child today, I felt relieved. I can love someone else without worrying about hurting him. I don't know when I started loving you or how much, but I'm ready to be with you for life. Even if you grow old or sick, no matter what hardships we face, I want to be by your side forever. James smiled, tears in his eyes, and suddenly hugged me tightly, kissing my hair. Wife, thank you. I hugged him back. We might not have stopped at hugs if the baby hadn't kicked, reminding us. We laughed, gazing at my belly, holding God's greatest gift. Even pregnant, I worked as usual. It kept my spirits up and the baby comfortable. I was the office's most pampered employee, with even the CEO bringing treats to nourish me. Inspired by my pregnancy, I designed a maternity fashion collection, opening a new market for Vogue Trend Studio. With a thriving career, a talented, doting director husband, my life now boils down to 2 words: perfectly fulfilled. After all I've been through, I've learned so much. I've learned patience, listening, and empathy. I realized that with enough love, you don't need to change someone, they'll love you as you are. But if the love isn't enough, no amount of compromise or change will ever suffice. Live for yourself, or you're doomed. But live only for yourself, ignoring others' feelings, and life loses its beauty. I also learned about dealing with people. Live with kindness, and good things will come. Those who treat you poorly, distance yourself. Don't cling to them, inviting pain. Heaven sees all, what you sow, you reap. So, don't dirty your hands with the unworthy. Now, I truly understand the saying, some things don't work out because God is protecting you. Dear listeners, our story ends here. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to catch more captivating tales. Goodbye, and see you next time.